A esa negra que bien la rumba se le da, pero está pa' todo y no está pa' nada. Vaya, a esa negra que bien la rumba se le da, que bien que no está pa' todo y no está pa' nada. Ella no está pa' nada. Esa negra que bien la rumba se le da, pero está pa' todo y no está pa' nada. Oye, caballero, lo que tiene esa negra es...
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space. Kenny is here. SKYDUDE. I'm trying to start at Mexico City. I am awfully sorry for getting everybody's hope up, including my own. I feel really stupid. Let me explain. I really wanted to come down to Mexico to check out all the pyramids, and yeah, we're gonna go check out all these cool pyramids, and let me find all these pyramids in Google, and we're gonna make a big adventure of it. And like an idiot, I didn't just check the Microsoft main menu to see if the pyramids were included in landmarks in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Right. So I feel just stupid advertising. Oh, we're gonna see all the pyramids and da 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 da. Anyway, I'm trying to get myself moved. I'm gonna spend even more money. We had a crash last week too. Coming in for a landing, and I thought for sure I had it, and I clipped a tree, the top of a tree, and I crashed our plane, and I lost a lot of money. Now I'm gonna lose more over here in NEOFLY, which is taking its sweet time popping up on the screen. Yep. Where are you, NEOFLY? I'm trying to move my pilot to Mexico. Come on. Try to get all this taken care of beforehand. But everything goes haywire once you start a show. Okay. Let's see if this is working now. Okay, go back to NEOFLY. Good, okay. So it still says that we're at another MMPA, and that's not where we're at the moment. We are at... No. We are at... Mexico City. Dun dun dun. So I need to get ourselves in NEOFLY set to move over here, and then I guess bring the plane here. Could be a little tricky. Let's see here. Let me just go back to the main menu for a moment. Anyway, we're gonna try to get to Cancun today. So, no expectations on anything that we're going to see. We're just going to continue our cross country. Down here, we've never flown down here before. It's the furthest south I've ever flown. Okay, so let me load this up here. No, not help. But we do want... Where's our load function? There we go. Why did this not populate a minute ago? Everything's going crazy today. So what we need is this. Load save. Great. So MMMX, and that's kind of the route that I wanted to take today. This area looked awful blue down here. Wow, that's pretty. We're gonna have to go check that out. Pretty that water is. And then make our way. Cancun again, never flown South America. I think we're just gonna keep going south. Normally I just go to a coast, you know, East Coast, West Coast. But now we're starting to get way more adventurous. MMMX. Okay, so now in NEOFLY, let that load in. And we need to go to the pilot. And we need to change location here. MMMX. Let's wait for that to load in. Still loading. Hope you had a great weekend. Mine wasn't so bad. We actually got to play some Dungeons and Dragons this weekend with our dear friends. That was nice. Alright, so we're spawned on the runway. Let me turn off the plane. My NEOFLY hates it when you try to initiate anything with engine started. I don't want to start cold and dark. I have some sort of conflicting keyboard something bug. If I load cold and start, it just won't move at that point. We're stuck. I need to spawn on the runway. So that's something I didn't get to this weekend. Too busy. But I'll try to get to that soon and see if that is ultimately the problem. That's what people are telling me. There's a controller, something's conflicting somewhere. But it doesn't bother me when I start on the runway. So, not sure what it is. Alright, back over here. See if we can now move it in here. For 2,838, yeah. And now we're going to have to go to the hangar. Uh-oh, it's... And now we go to the hangar. Now we need to bring the aircraft to this location. So it's moving the airplane. Great. Then we have to assign ourselves.
Hello, Captain.
Great.
Nice to see you again.
Now she recognizes that we're here.
Let's get out of here.
Get logged into Bushtalk Radio in case we roll across any points of interest. We'll get an audio pop up. Great, that's logged in now. All right, so now back in NEOFLY, a lot of jumping back and forth. We can now look for a job here that will take us down here towards this pretty blue water. We're looking on this map here. Follow the blue line. I'm scrolling through the different jobs. I'm looking for one that'll go directly south. A lot of flights going north. Everybody's fleeing north. They don't want to go south. Come on, folks. We want to go south. Surely there are people that want to go south. Oh. All those jobs and nothing. Nothing that wants to take us directly south. Let's adjust the distances and try again. Okay, well, that one, again, I wanted to go here. And at least that gets us going in the right direction. And once we get here, maybe we can get something going south to make sure that there's a runway there. We have to land on, yeah, very Mexican runway, but it's a runway. What's the pay on this one? 18,000? Okay, well, we'll take it.
Hello, transporter. Your cargo is waiting for you in the parking. The ground crew are loading the cargo. Stand by.
So once it finishes going through its little loading thing here, we can then restart the flight. Get the inertial separator open. We're flying the Caravan.
Okay, pilot.
Love the
That's
plane.
the last of the crates secured, and the cargo door is closed and latched. You are cleared to taxi.
In my opinion, as a, if you're going to be a NEOFLY person and you're not going to hire other pilots and rent them planes, and you're not going to pay the extra to get the pilot's add-on, then I think this is the best plane for you to get as fast as possible. And just be happy with this. Let's unless the DC-3 is more to your taste or something like that. I've absolutely grown to love this aircraft. All right. No, we need our prop all the way back up. Come on, you. No, there we go. And get our propeller going again, and we'll take off. Okay, we are going to, the job is taking us to MMWB.
You're good to go. Contact the tower for clearance.
The big D key. Hit the keyboard icon. MMWB. MMWB. San Benito Encinal, Air Station number 8, Loma Bonita. Hit enter twice. Switch our CDI. Hello. Switch the CDI to GPS. Okay. For right now, we'll keep our altitude a little bit low. We'll see how it is when we get going. I'll just dial it up to 6,000. Start there. All right, 6,000. And we're on our way. Sorry, I was adjusting the radio. Not fast enough. I'm getting old. Man, he wants to get up in the air.
Okay, pilot, steady away. See you again soon.
It must be a warm, warm day.
y fuerte aquí en mis venas, es una magia. Yo quería volar ligera como una mariposa, suavemente cerca de ti después volver. Es un sueño que no se termina con la madrugada. Sí, es así, es así, es así.
Not only are we getting turbulence, we're getting game stutter. Mexico City is a huge place. Like LA, New York, make no doubt about it, it is huge. So even running at these settings, Mexico City's trying to kick my computer's butt. So I apologize for the glitching. Hopefully it'll stabilize here once we get a little higher. And it starts reducing the detail on things. What I also need to do is, let me just go ahead and make this adjustment real quick. She is super touchy. We need rolls. Is that the mouse? Yeah. Maybe the mouse would be less sensitive. Try to do this. What that does. Feels a little bit better. All I was just doing was tapping the joystick. She was all over the place. I hope that they do a Mexico update. It would be really nice to have those pyramids and be able to... I'm still waiting for the History Channel Ancient Aliens DLC. That's ultimately what I want. I'm gonna be able to explore all the ancient alien sites. You see that turning the buildings down? We gotta do something. He's bouncing around too much. Let's see what we can do here to try to help the computer out until we get to more open space. Oh, I hate turning this stuff down. I hate turning anything down. She's not liking this. What kind of winds are we dealing with here? 20. 25 knot winds today. Gusts of 30. There's 30. I'm looking right here. So we got a wind blowing from the south with gusts up to 30. And now I'm starting to see some mountains ahead of us. About doing a climb. Okay, so getting a slight climb on. And we're such a flying shed that I'm sure that autopilot is having a hell of a time keeping us on track. I mean, look at all that surface area we have for the wind to just push us. I don't understand why they don't make them more round. Especially this one. The flying cow. Even though SkyVector doesn't give us detailed information of Mexico, probably a good idea that try to bring it up. Because going into these clouds, I can't tell if there's a mountain in front of us. We'll do best to see if we can get some elevations. What is it saying? It doesn't recognize the airport we're flying to. right, well, we're flying this way. Nine, 5, 9, 10, 8, 10, 6, 11, 6, 11, 6. So we might have some mountains in front of us that are as high as 11.6. That already looks taller. Yikes. Yeah, look at those over there. Thank goodness we don't have to go over those. Another big range out ahead of us, but looks like we're going to be flying between them. But can't tell right at the moment. Our view directly ahead of us is obscured. But if the sky vector maps are right, then yeah. I mean, we should be good at over 11,000. Hey! I've got my German friends in the chat. Hey, good to see ya. And I'm being advised I should really head to St. Bart's afterwards. Still sick, farmers protesting all over Germany, cafeteria closed because they couldn't deliver the food. Then you had a dentist appointment and your rice burnt for dinner. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have been seeing, I haven't been watching too much news, but the news that I have seen the German protests, the farmer protests going on. Definitely seen that. As for your rice burning, that always sucks. There's not much you can do. Because you don't want to, I mean, unless you want to add stuff into it to try to negate the burn. And pretty much the only thing you could mix in at that point to negate burn is like peanut butter. But who wants peanut butter and rice? Ugh! Now, if it was a pot of chili or something, you can throw in a little bit of peanut butter to neutralize the burn flavor, and that won't affect the dish too much. But with rice, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna notice that. And I'm always sorry if anybody has to go to the dentist. I mean, I used to like going to the dentist. I don't really go much anymore. So, I mean, I can sympathize, but, you know, I've always really enjoyed going to the dentist. I used to have a very bright smile, and then I started smoking. Yeah, coconut milk. All right. That's a good idea. I came down here hoping to find a bunch of cool pyramids, and they haven't updated Mexico, and they don't have any of the pyramids in Mexico as landmarks, so that's been a bust. I've been very impressed with the terrain, especially coming into Mexico. It was absolutely beautiful. This is, you know, I'm used to seeing stuff like this. It's still stuff I've never seen before, so I'm happy to see it for the first time. But as far as being truly remarkable, coming in from Texas, when you first come in from Texas and start coming into Mexico, the terrain is mind-blowing. And over here, it's not so much. It's all right. It's cool. We're in Mexico. We're heading towards Cancun. I think I've heard of St. Bart's, but never been. So yeah, I don't have any problem. I'm just going to keep heading south mostly, I guess, for this cross country. There have been some remarkable topography. Still want that Ancient Aliens sites DLC, and that way all the pyramids would be in here. But it's a real shame that they don't have any of them. There's, you know, considering they're so popular. Feels like the wind has calmed down up here a little bit. What is the wind? Wow, we're actually getting a 49 knot wind. It's actually it's 50. Got a 50 knot wind. Look at the plane on the indicator. It's actually has to keep flying forward because the wind is pushing us sideways. So the airplane is in slipping mode. The airplane is having to hold 10, 20, a 25 degree angle to compensate for the wind pushing at our side. It's one of those things on the test. See, this is something you don't really learn in Microsoft Flight Simulator. They had these old handheld, they still do. I shouldn't call them old, they still use them. And if you're going to learn how to fly in the real world, I guess you have to learn how to use it still. It's called an E6B, and it's a handheld calculator. But it's not like it's a handheld computer, but it's not like a computer you think of. It's like a slide rule. And some questions on your pilot's test will be like, if you have to fly this course heading and the winds are coming at you at this direction, what do you have to compensate in your heading to counteract the winds? That would be an E6B question. In this case, it's 10, 25 degrees. You have to fly course heading 131. For a course heading of 112. Oh, I can't wait to get to Europe. So, I haven't really done north and south. This is my first north and south. Well, this is my first south. We haven't really done north yet. So, once I do this, yeah, then I want to load up Europe and start seeing Europe. I've flown little bits in, you know, I've spawned in here and there to check out some things, but I've never done a European cross-country. So, that will be in the future. Uh-oh, we are slowing down too much. Oh man, I've just kept climbing, no wonder. $20,000. Oh yeah. 54 knots. It's weird that it didn't do my hold. I guess I didn't leave it in flight level change. Oh, yeah, that's what happens. I mean, if you're gonna cheat, cheaters never win. I mean, and basically, if you're doing it and you're gonna try getting a license in the real world for it, and you're cheating, you're a danger. You're a danger to yourself, and you're a danger to anybody that flies with you, because you would choose to cheat. If you're gonna cheat at one thing, you're gonna cheat at another thing, and I would never trust a pilot. I wouldn't, no way. I may not be the smartest cookie in the bunch, but if I was gonna do it for real, you better believe I've been saying, and I have said in the past on these live streams, that would be something I would like to see in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and that is inclusion of a virtual E6B and missions that are early on learning, or an E6B that you could pull up and use in the cockpit and learn how to do that stuff. I believe I saw the other day an online E6B that you can use. It's a free online E6B website, and but I haven't taken the time to just sit down and do it. I started messing with it, and I was going to order one to have in my hand, and I will at some point. I want one. By the way, congratulations to your father for being the smart one in the bunch. Now, him I would trust flying with. Going on here. This is pretty. City bus. Kind of reminds me of Japan. Japan is much more green though, but the mountains. The man flew 8 years and almost 1,000 hours in his beloved PA-32. He still talks about his awesome plane and his stories. I mean, it is. It is. I would listen eagerly, because anybody who's done it in real life, I mean, now that's brave. I'm over 50 years old now, and I'm still not that brave. Well, mostly I have to say it's because I'm poor. If I would, if I had the lifestyle that I desired, or would have got into it when I actually had a good career, then I could afford to do it. But with the fuel costs and the plane costs and everything else these days, my God, you have to be rich. And unless you're doing it for a job like this, to where you can make 20 grand a flight, unless you're going to get into it for work, the average person won't be able to afford it. Even getting a light sport plane, my gosh, I would love to get something like the Icon A5. for my own personal. That's still in the 20,000 or more range. No, I think I've got that wrong. I think it's 200,000 still. Whatever. I don't want to misquote their price. Let's see here. And look it up. I hope they don't go out of business. 399,000. 399,000 for an Icon A5. This plane here, this is $5 million, which is a bunch of... I gotta watch out or I'm gonna start swearing and using vulgar language. But for this thing to cost that much... BS, man. That's a bunch of BS. The liability and insurances and that's so stupid to me. And then there aren't people out there that still make like, shoot, man. Planes still out of made of canvas and wood. The Eurofighter? Back in the day, I used to have the Eurofighter simulator when it first came out. At the time the Eurofighter came out, the Americans had not, we Americans had not released our F-22 Raptor. And the Eurofighter is an amazing aircraft, and I remember loving the hell out of the simulator. I gave up after a while because, again, at that time, I wasn't smart enough. I didn't really understand flying. It was more of just something to play with. And when it came to like refueling and stuff, I just wasn't a good enough pilot to ever master something like refueling. I didn't understand enough, and I didn't want to get... Either way, I just gave up with it. But I just remember how wonderful the Eurofighter was. And its statistics, when it first came out, it had a chance to beat like 99% of any other aircraft in the air. It was that good. And then the F-22 Raptor came out, and it had... then it had a 99% chance survival rate against any other aircraft in the air, including the Eurofighter. I would really like a we've got the F-35 now. We've got the F-35 now, but I've never had I've never had an F-22 simulation. I haven't purchased one for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I just don't know how detailed it would be. But now that I've already flown the 35, the 35 is, I mean, I've enjoyed them all, but the 35 is one you know, an average person can get into without having to relearn all the different controls. I kind of thought for a while that that's why they made military planes the way that they did, so that the average Joe just couldn't hop in one and go wreak havoc if he got his hands on one. And now I think they were all just designed by foreigners. They weren't designed by Americans, so we just kind of adopted what was there. I don't know. I don't know what the decision was to... What the decision was. You spend all these years trying to at least become a proficient pilot and learn everything from the Cessna up, and everything's scalable. Carlos Alberto, Manis Rodriguez. Hey. Thank you for subscribing. With a name like that, I don't want to assume that you're from Mexico. But if you are, you have a beautiful country. I've been blown away. My first road trip down here cross country from Colorado and from Texas, coming in from Texas and coming down, it's been magical. It's been so beautiful. Not at all what I thought. I thought it was definitely going to be a lot more, you know, just like that, just dusty and nope. It's been a beautiful, beautiful landscape. Yeah, planes that weigh 200 kilos, don't need registration, and have no call sign, and you don't need to be checked by doctors regularly to fly. In America, that is the light, the sport plane. Sport planes and light sport planes are the same here. That's why I mentioned the Icon. It's classified as light sport, and you just need a driver's license. And $339,000 plus gas money. Our FAA is crying because they don't have enough pilots. They don't have enough pilots now. They're worried they're not going to have enough pilots going into the next 20 years. And yet, no airplane manufacturer or even auto manufacturer other than Honda, you know, nobody wants to get into creating light sport planes for the average user. And again, even something like a Cessna, you're still looking at lots and lots and lots of money. And they've got everything priced so far out, again, that you can't get the average guy excited about flying anymore, right? And so you're not going to have those pilots. And so they've kind of killed themselves, not necessarily because of the requirements. That's not a problem. And the learning, that's not a problem. It's the cost. And now with the economy, our economy at least, going the way that it's going, it's just compounded the problem 1,000 times. We need to get our economy back to like a 1970s economy, and people are like, oh my god, the 70s economy was still horrible. I guess so, but comic books were 25 cents, and a whole meal at McDonald's for your family was $10. And that's like everybody getting like 3 of everything. You know, you could, in the past, in the 1970s, you could get a whole McDonald's meal for $1 or $2. People were making good money. Well, there was a gas shortage, so that kind of screwed things up. But yeah, they've got it so that cars and planes, at least light sport planes and cars, are not on par. And then they're going to say, well, like, it's the avionics, and, you know, well, you don't have to have fancy avionics. And now they've got micro avionics, and, I mean, so, government, man, it's like with your farmers out there. Governments, they do nothing but screw things up. They do nothing but screw things up. We had such, when airplanes were first finally started coming into, you know, real commercial use for the average person, kind of back in the biplane days, right before the FAA even was created. There was such an enthusiasm, and the costs were so cheap. Yeah, everybody wanted to get into it. And like I said, if you're not getting into this for work, and with every flight that you make, you know, you're going to make some money, I mean, then that's ridiculous. You know, and he says also you need a first aid course and a paper from the government that states that you have never committed any crimes. Then you can make an appointment for your final test at 60 pounds sterling. So far, I've still never committed a crime. I can still qualify, but I'm getting up in age now, over 50, to where, you know, the health thing, where they want you to test. But you know, I'm in relatively good health. Vision isn't what it could be, but they make stellar glasses these days. I could get corrective surgery. You flew 135 flights in over 40 hours last year. That's awesome. If I could do a whole year in the simulator without one mistake and one crash, just flying with you guys, I was being too cavalier and just crashing left and right, making an ass of myself. And 2 days ago, or the last flight before that, everything was going smooth, and then I lost it. I clipped the top of a tree coming in for a landing. Now it was a horrible setback in NEOFLY. Set me back thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But yeah, if I could get through a whole year in the simulator without dying once or crashing once, you know, start to think about it a little bit more. I'm terrified at the thought of doing a glider at the moment. Terrified. That's a neat looking formation down there. That I know that there's so much stuff that they have yet to uncover around the world in Mexico, and this almost seems artificial. No, and me, that I'm totally for the calm flying, and that's why I end up using my autopilot a lot. And you know, I just want to get through a flight. I want to survive it, and I'm not interested in aerobatics at the moment or anything like that. I want it to be as smooth and comfortable, and I don't even care if it's fast. You know, as long as we get there. I know one of you were saying that you prefer the general aviation aircraft over the airliners as well because, you know, you get the flying, but I like it just because it's slow. You know, and we're low enough that I can still sightsee. I can sightsee in the airliners, but you're doing it much faster. I wonder what they're mining out of there. Yeah, a lot of people don't tune in and stay tuned in to my live streams just because they're so slow and boring. Wow, look at that peak out there. That's really up there. Oh yeah, I can understand how it's a lot calmer with not 1,000 people in the stream. Man, if I could have one day with 1,000 people, and even 20. Flight simming is, I mean, some guys really are, they're just natural. They're naturally charismatic, whatever, and they don't want to take anything away from them. It's awesome that they're able to do it and actually make a buck or two as well on YouTube. I would love to be able to make a buck or two on YouTube. I wish I had one stream. I was like, yeah, this is the stream, man. It would be so nice to be able like some people to actually do YouTube as a job and to be able to be popular enough that just doing something like this you can all help pay your bills. That's such a dream come true. The wife would be happy, everybody would be happy. My mother-in-law would be happy. Very impressed with the Pretzel Music channel for traditional Latin music too. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy the Latin channels, and I'm loving them. when we get back into Europe, we'll get back to that those Madonna clones. Start doing all the Euro stuff. Well, like I said, I'll be getting to a point where I'll be hanging out in Germany at some point. If you're in the simulator now, let me know, and I should be the one that creates the group, though, if I'm live streaming. I don't have any problem creating a group if you want me to send an invite out there. But I think I should be the one controlling the group if we're doing live streams. Because we were having the weird weather changes and other things happen the other day. I don't know why everybody's trying to run and hurry to get to the United States of America. I gotta tell you, I've been thinking about, for the first time ever in my life, I actually thought, man, why are they running here? I want to run down there. They're all trying to cross our border. I'm thinking about going there. I don't know why anybody would be running to come here right now. It's too stupid. And nobody can afford to live right now. But down here, you can still afford to live, and the further south you go. No, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get better soon. Yeah, you should get your rest, man. Not be watching some silly simulator guy. You're taking care of your health, and you have the rest of your life to screw around with stuff like this. Enjoy that time of your life, man, that's for sure. Enjoy it. You won't hurt my feelings none. Yeah, so I've got family members that are, we have people from Mexico that have married into the family, and I have family members down in Mexico right now, and I think that they're thinking about going, they're thinking about moving to Mexico because our economy is so screwed up.
Vamos a dançar. Vamos a sambar. Vamos a dançar.
100.2 miles. Still have a 25 knot wind. Still haven't descended to our better hold here. That's far out. Until this country gets its shit together, man, there's just I wouldn't come here. If we could get back to the way we used to be, we can get our economy under control. If we can get our government back under control, it would be a wonderful place again. And you know, you can chase your dreams. Like I'm talking about flying. I mean, if we could get that even under one little slice, where everything's affordable again, and inspire people. That's beautiful. That would be nice living in a valley like that. That's so pretty. This is great landscape here. Natural gully right between all of them, running through this and that way too. No. See, I think there was a miscommunication somewhere. I don't mind trying it. I just don't think that for me it'll work. I mean, we're going to have to find some winds that are really good. The chance of me doing a cross country in a glider right now are probably slim to none. Maybe. But I was saying that there were people out there. There are glider pilots out there that I've seen on YouTube. Real world glider pilots, and they can do cross countries, and that's blowing a lot of people's mind that they're that good that they can do that. So it'd be neat to be able to do that, but you know, I've got to really get a much better grasp on thermals. And then again, getting the winds mapped out and having your METAR up, and oh man. It's so damn beautiful. Yeah, I still don't mind trying it. I definitely look forward to more glider flying. And I'm still considering reloading DCS World or whatever, you know, and doing some of that. I really don't. Again, it's one of those too where the planes that I would really want to fly, just, man, that's a pretty heavy investment for somebody like me at the moment. I haven't checked in a while, checked prices on things, but I can understand the price. I mean, for what you're getting, for what the damn thing can do, amazing. It's DCS World is an amazing thing. Just wish they would bring combat the flight simulator back. Bring it back. Man, and that's on sale. Yikes. I get it. I understand. You're not just getting a flight simulator plane. I mean, the thing that the stuff that it has to be able to do and the systems that it has to be able to provide are, you know, phenomenal. I enjoy it. I don't know if I want to enjoy it to that tune at the moment. If I could just get my finances together. It's been a bad few years. Man, this coming up ahead, this is some neat looking stuff. I guess that's one of those ones where, you know, I don't know if they have the. I'm pretty sure they have the F-22. Pretty sure. And I don't know if they have the 35 yet. Probably. I think those are. That's what I would really like to try. The vector control thrust is, to me, that's the way to go. That frog foot, I loved it. I was kind of getting good. I can't even say that. I learned how to fly the frog foot, and I started exploring different munitions. As far as being good at destroying everything efficiently, no, a lot of going in circles, making myself sick going in circles, trying to learn how to hit things. There is something beautiful to find in every plane in some way. So yeah, I mean, I did find enjoyment out of the frog foot. I haven't asked, but do either of you guys actually do any live streaming of your own? Maybe you should be doing a glider training live stream. Then I can come onto your live stream. After 100 hours in the SU-25, you can proudly say that you have no chance against surface-to-air missiles. Yeah, probably me too. I like the new lighting, but everything still feels a little bit washed out color-wise, and I haven't gone in and done any color tweaking. Try to make the live stream a little bit more vibrant. Yeah, again, maybe it's something in the future. Let's see here. I really wish they did have some color correction options in the simulator. I can go to my graphics card and adjust things a little bit there. Where are the plays? Color. Aha. Egads. Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, only so much a simulator can do, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. I imagine. I have no point of reference, but since I always fly out of Meadow Lake, I did run across one pilot. I have run into one real-world pilot that flies out of the same local airport that I use, K-Fly. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, it's so nice flying out of a familiar airport. It does feel so real. And he was commenting on, yep, these are the trees that we're told to turn at, and this is the lake we always are told to turn at, or, you know, pointing out points of interest that the students learn. So I imagine so. You know, you're definitely not the only person to say it.
Está oscuro, no sabes quién es. En las sombras, medianoche. Estás seguro que esta vez como magia aparece. Voces te llaman, te jalan, te siguen. Finalmente, no hay escape. No es sueño, no te despiertas. ¿Dónde está? Búscala. La bruja de San Martín. ¿Dónde está?
That's pretty.
La bruja de San Martín, ¿dónde está? Búscala. La bruja de San Martín, ¿dónde está? Búscala. La bruja de San Martín. Madrugada se presenta, quieres dejarla pero no te deja. Tienes miedo, desorientado, está bella pero peligrosa. Labios rojos, pelo negro, vestido largo con la...
I'm actually surprised there's not more buildup around this large body of water. Especially when you got peaks like that in the environment. All right, and again, I hope you feel better. Get some rest, plenty of fluids, stay hydrated, and have a good day in class tomorrow with chemistry and German. Cheers to your health, well-being, and prosperity. I'll grab my coffee, raise a mug. Cheers. Until next time. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, no crashing today, please. No crashing. All right, how far do we have to go? Let's hop in the cockpit and see. 49.4 miles. All right, let's start a descent. Well, winds have calmed down a bit. We got 14 knot wind. Drop the prop back. Don't need our landing lights on. Got to turn those off. Wow. Techno Mexican. This is not traditional Latin. Somebody put this in the wrong category. This is modern. Got that cowbell madness going on. Well, that was certainly interesting. And then back to the look of love. Yeah, again, it boggles my mind. This isn't all developed. There's not a mega city around this somewhere. Now I want to run down there and build Walmart right there. Perfect place for a Walmart. So there's a gentleman that I watch. There's a gentleman that I watch on YouTube, and I really enjoy his content. It's the Professor of Rock. If you're into music, if you're into music, the history of music, stories, lyrics, whatever, just if you're into music, the Professor of Rock channel is really, really good. And one of his sponsors is Zenny Eyewear. He's been they have been one of his sponsors for a while now. And If you've seen the Professor of Rock channel, you know what I'm talking about. He's always talking about the Zenni eyewear. I actually ordered my latest pair, and I'm actually excited. One, just for some new lenses. I've been wearing these for a while, and things are starting to... my eyes are starting to get old, getting out of focus. I'm always on the computer or on the phone. And so, a new set of glasses. I'm really excited for these new lenses. The first time I've ever had a progressive lens, you know, basically like a bifocal. That's the age I'm getting at now, where they want me to wear bifocals. Like, but they're progressive now. Okay, whatever, just okay. Can I see better? Yeah. We'll make you see in HD. Ooh. We'll even put like blue blocking technology on there. You're on the computer all the time. Is that good? Yeah. All right, cool. So those should be arriving soon. That's the kind of thing that I have to spend my money on. You know, practical stuff, like being able to see. And I'm really sad for my wife. Her eyes have since childhood have been sideways. I mean, not literally sideways. And if you were to look at her, you couldn't tell that there was anything wrong with her eyes. But she's got screwy eyes. And her glasses cost a lot. And that's another thing in this economy that pisses me off. You know, something that you need. So anyway, we were lucky enough to find, and I've got my fingers crossed, to find somebody that does really, 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 really discounted prescription lenses. And basically, they're at the moment, and I hope they're good, and she doesn't have to return them and refund them. But right at the moment, it looks like they'll be able to save her 50% over what everybody else is charging for the type of lenses that she needs. And I just think, you know, really glasses technology, lensing technology, been around now for a couple hundred years, and you're still just going to fleece people ridiculous for a lens for glasses. It's crazy. But, you know. Anyway, I'm glad she found them. I was really sad last night, and I went looking for some discounted ones, and I couldn't find any. She actually searched better than I did and found somebody. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, and I'll inform you how the Zenni stuff goes. You know, how they were able to do my new lenses. Hopefully, I do have HD vision now. That would be nice. Where are we at? We were 14 miles. And we're stalling? What do you mean we're stalling? Alright, well, let's do an alt hold and put the throttle back in. I want to flip the plane over. Alright, we have 26 miles to go, and we're still pretty darn high. Bring it down 3. I'm back up. Just light level change. Throttle back. Vertical speed, we'll do that instead. Negative 1,000 feet per minute. Still at 7.6. But we better stay in the cockpit and keep an eye on that. If I didn't have some noise, I would have never known that I was stalling. All right. 38 minutes after the hour. Find out what's next on the station. The horns, man. Love the horns. Oh, the rumba song.
La herencia fiel, historia escrita con la pasión del tambor más hermosa que esta tierra dio por aquí. Mi gente se alegra con la rumba que viene a iluminar todo el solar. Se ablanda el cuerpo cuando repica el bongo hasta que explota el guaguancó. Todo quiere guaguancó, todo quiere guaguancó. De mi guaguancó, que es lo bueno que tengo. Todo quiere guaguancó. Yo le traigo al guaguancó. Sí, y dígalo, todo quiere guaguancó. Y dígalo, 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 guaguancó. Yo le traigo al guaguancó. Todo quiere guaguancó. Mi guaguancó. Ajá.
Set up with air traffic control for runway 36.
Y dice así, mi gente, esta es mi gente, admírala, mi gente, la rumba del mayor.
We need better binoculars in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We need a much better zoom. Bring back the binoculars. So it should be this route. It should be coming around this way and coming in that way. Yep. Starting to form our pattern entry now. Go south, cut over this way, and then come back down to the runway. 36 should be at that end. All right, near 3,000. That's a 204. It says the pattern entry is 1,204. I would like to make Cancun today. Maybe that's a bit overly ambitious, but we're still going to try to make Cancun. We might have to just, from this next landing point here, just beeline it towards Cancun and not continue south. Bum, 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 bum. There she is, way out there. He is running like horse poop today. Getting a lot of micro stutters today. One moment. I need to pause it. It's jerking around on me too much, and I don't want to have it goof up on a landing. So let me check some settings here. That doesn't look very good either. Poor computer. What's wrong with you? Looks bad. That wasn't it. That was a little bit better. You know, the way the wind is coming in now, looking at it, I thought it was coming in from our side. I'm going to request a runway change. All right, so I'm not taking this runway. I'm going to come in from the other side. Yep.
pretty close to the center line, pilot. Nice job. Taxi to parking, please.
Transporter from dispatch. Clear the runway and taxi to parking.
We're a little reckless, but we're down. Made that turn way too tight. Oh, I see the hangar back there. Huh. Definitely need some fuel. All right, let's see about getting paid. Good time if you want to get out and get a stretch in. All right, let's see about getting paid. Where is NEOFLY? There it is. Okay. We need to slow the propeller or off. Got to put the landing lights on and our taxi lights on. Typical. All right, let's see if we get paid.
Stand by, pilot.
Aha.
Cargo unloading.
All right. We are going to get paid. 18,000. But we've spent, you know, in the crash the other day, and then the cost of repairing things and getting the plane rented again, we've lost way more money than we've earned this week, last week. We have to have several days of good jobs with no mistakes this week to just get back to even. We're still under. We were over 10 million.
Cargo unloaded and checked. It is always a pleasure to work with you.
Yeah, we were over 10 million, making our way up the 10 million
Ready
ladder.
for engine start.
Now we're back to 9.7. Yeah, expensive. All right, I was saying I wanted to keep going south, but the time that we have, probably better not. Probably better just shoot now. We want to shoot straight east and make our way towards Cancun. So let's look for a job that'll take us that way. Well, that one is kind of doing it right there. Taking us near Tabasco. See if there's any that skirt the coast a little bit better. No, it's kind of going to the same spot. NB. Too much. All right, we'll take it. Hurry this up here. We need to get some fuel. $948. Hey, that's a good deal. Okay. For $20,000, this is a passenger flight.
Pilot, this is dispatch. The mail that is being loaded up is time sensitive.
Oh no.
No delays, please.
Oh no, these are usually...
Captain, we have some crates marked as urgent. We'll load them now.
These are usually impossible to make. MMMB.
Transporter from dispatch. The cargo is on board. You are cleared to taxi to the runway and take off.
MMNB. So, if I just like now haul ass, we might be able to do it. Usually these are too hard for me. You gotta fly super fast. And I need to check our weight requirement for this, so that we get paid the appropriate amount. Okay, we're deficient. Not registering accurately. 300. Oh, I wonder what's up with that. They've desynced. So this number should be changing. And it is not. I don't know how I've become desynced. Oh well, we just got to go with it. It's desynced. I'm gonna just. Well, what does it say we need? Wait, 1148. Pause or something. Numbers aren't here either. I don't know. All I know is we need to get out of here.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
All right. Yeah, I would like to say we're gonna make Cancun today. We really have to move. He's not turning now. Oh my lord, what is going on with you? Now it's like we have no joystick control. Dun, 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 dun. This darn simulator. Yeah, I'm moving, but I'm twisting the joystick full right rudder, and I'm just not getting any movement. What are you doing in front of me? Were you causing the problem? Had some guy stuck under my wheel? I'm in a hurry, you know. Nah, I'm still not getting any right rudder authority. Sorry, pal. Dangerous place to be. What happened to my controls? You go to Windows and do a joystick refresh thing. All right, let's see if we have any back. No. Son of a gun. We're at MMWB. Screwy thing.
Hello, Captain. Nice to see you again.
Uh-huh.
Transporter, you must deliver this package before the deadline. The earlier, the better. Transporter from dispatch. Loading express packages. Please stand by. Transporter. Cargo is loaded. You can start your mission.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Oh, there, I got control again.
Pilot, fly like the wind.
Uh-huh. Now the wind's in our face, kind of pretty strong. 11 knots. All right, and we're going to MMNB. All right. Heading in the right direction for Cancun. We've had no hits on Bushtalk Radio today. We've managed to not come close to any of the audio markers. Now we're headed over here with nothing. Oh, not seeing it. Typical. Yeah, all those little markers that you see on the map, any dots on the map, those are all audio markers and they play audio clips. And we've managed to pass through all of them without triggering any. Now there's nothing in between here and there. We need to try to make it all the way to here, over to here, before the end of the stream. I don't know if we can do it. Maybe. Okay, well, let me turn this down or off for a moment. The points of interest, I should have been playing them anyway as we were passing by, and whether they're near, we can see them or not. Off to our port side, we have 3.
Tlacotalpan is a town in Tlacotalpan municipality in the Mexican state of Veracruz, declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1998 primarily for its architecture and colonial-era layout. The town was established in 1550 on what was originally an island in the Papalopan River. From the colonial era to the 20th century, it was an important port, one of few interior river ports in Latin America. However, with the construction of the railroad, Tlacotalpan's importance faded. Starting in the latter 20th century, efforts to conserve the town's Spanish/Caribbean architecture and layout began, culminating in World Heritage status. Today, its main economic support is fishing and tourism, especially to the annual feast in honor of Our Lady of Candlemas. The Olmec colossal heads are stone representations of human heads sculpted from large basalt boulders. They range in height from 1.17 to 3.4 meters. The heads date from at least 900 BC and are a distinctive feature of the Olmec civilization of ancient Mesoamerica. All portray mature individuals with fleshy cheeks, flat noses, and slightly crossed eyes. Their physical characteristics correspond to a type that is still common among the inhabitants of Tabasco and Veracruz. The backs of the monuments often are flat. The boulders were brought from the Sierra de los Tuxtlas Mountains of Veracruz. Given that the extremely large slabs of stone used in their production were transported over large distances 93 miles, requiring a great deal of human effort and resources, it is thought that the monuments represent portraits of powerful individual Olmec rulers. Each of the known examples has a distinctive headdress. The heads were variously arranged in lines or groups at major Olmec centers, but the method and logistics used to transport the stone to these sites remain unclear. They all display distinctive headgear, and one theory is that these were worn as protective helmets, maybe worn for war or to take part in a ceremonial Mesoamerican ball game. La Venta Monument 1, circa 1960. The discovery of the first colossal head at Tres Zapotes in 1862 by José María Melgar y Serrano was not well documented nor reported outside of Mexico. The excavation of the same colossal head by Matthew Sterling in 1938 spurred the first archaeological investigations of Olmec culture. 17 confirmed examples are known from 4 sites within the Olmec heartland on the Gulf Coast of Mexico. Most colossal heads were sculpted from spherical boulders, but 2 from San Lorenzo Tenochtitlan were recarved from massive stone thrones. An additional monument, at Tecalacabaj in Guatemala, is a throne that may have been carved from a colossal head.
Wow. So that was going on in the past in this area. All right, let's As it stays locked on the screen, but sometimes as soon as I click, because of the auto scene switcher, it immediately moves back. So the heads are, again, off to our port right up in here. We can see some of those. Over here to our south,
Juan de la Luz Enriquez is a town in the municipality of Jesus Carranza, Veracruz, Mexico. It has 196 inhabitants, as of 2010. It borders to the north with the town of Juan Escutia, to the west with vacant lots of the state of Oaxaca, to the southeast with the town of Casablanca and the Uxpanapa Valley, and to the south with the municipality of Santa Maria Chimalapa, also in Oaxaca. It is located 120 meters above sea level. The latitude is -94.784589 and the longitude 17.188500. The GPS coordinates are 1711 18.6 and 94:49 minutes 22 seconds. 0188W. The postal code is 96,976. And the most used telephone area codes are 972 and 974.
man, that is when you have to say something about a place that nobody needs to say anything about, really. I'm sorry if that's cruel, but, you know, when have we ever gotten that kind of information? And there's a girl there whose name is Juanita M. Calabosa, and she's 23 years old. And she is one of 32 inhabitants of the small town and is an up-and-coming cooking star on Iron Chef Mexico. Okay, so I wanted to go down here and check this area out today, but we just don't have the time. Yeah, it's already 20 minutes after the hour, and we're supposed to be over here by the end of the live stream today. Might have to run it long. So, nothing to see until we get over to here. Nothing to play. See if there's anything interesting that we missed on the way out. Battle of Tierra Blanca.
The Battle of Tierra Blanca was fought in 1913 during the Mexican Revolution. It took place about 35 miles south of Ciudad Juarez. The outcome was a major victory for Francisco Pancho Villa over the forces of José Inés Salazar, commander of the federal forces loyal to then-head of state Victoriano Huerta. The two armies were of relatively equal numbers, 5,500 of Villa's soldiers standing against an estimated 7,000 federal soldiers. But Salazar's troops were in theory more disciplined and had more artillery. The battle began on the 23rd of November 1913. The first day saw fairly indecisive fighting, but before the actual clashes started, Fierro had been sent south to destroy the railroad tracks, forcing the federal soldiers to halt. On the second day, as Villa flanked the well-armed federal soldiers with cavalry, a steam locomotive filled with dynamite and percussion caps was rammed into train cars provided for them. The resulting explosion caused Salazar's men to flee to nearby undamaged train cars in retreat. Villa's cavalry then overwhelmed the troopers. This attack, combined with Rodolfo Fierro's mission to explode armaments behind the lines, caused Salazar's forces to collapse. Fierro is noted as riding on horseback after an escaping locomotive, climbing onto it, running across the roofs of the train cars, and shooting dead the boilerman and conductor, pulling the train to a complete stop. All federal soldiers captured were executed. Villa captured 4 locomotives, 7 machine guns, horses, rifles and 400,000 rounds of small arms ammunition in the battle. The death toll stood around 1,000 federal soldiers killed and 300 of Villa's own.
It sucks, man. I mean, it doesn't matter what country you live in. You know, we've all had problems with our governments. You know, and it just... crap, man. Thousands of years on this planet, and it's still just... and that wasn't even so long ago. In the, you know, span of history, that was less than yesterday. It was last night. In the span of history, that just took place last night. You know, and people all over the world still engaged in war. We can't get beyond it, and then some people are just insufferable. I am now more acutely aware of it than I've ever been in my life before. The last 10 years have really brought things into focus for me. I was pretty much a carefree person, interested in Star Trek, interested in gaming and podcasting, and, you know, comic books, Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm finally getting around to learning some flight simulator, learning how to fly, and, you know, that's about it, man. Occasionally getting upset with something maybe Marvel Comics is doing in their movies or television shows. And going back even earlier in my life to my teenage years, yeah, more of the same, but way more geeky. I had money to spend on comic books back then and more media stuff, and so always, you know, not... oh, I guess you get the point. I wasn't that involved in politics. I wasn't that involved in paying attention to what the hell is going on in the world. I love history. I've loved history as a study growing up. But it's sad that... it's sad because we haven't learned anything. So that's the beauty of and sadness of learning history. And you're constantly reminded with history repeats itself. And you just keep seeing it day in and day out, no matter, you know. And as now that I'm getting old, I see things are repeating themselves over, and I see it now. I get it. So one of the things that never changes is like the human condition. And because of that, I think that's probably the biggest cause, maybe the human condition in itself. That is the thing that has remained constant, and we're constantly doing the same stupid things. As a young person going to school and learning about history, and because we were and this was the 80s, and I already thought that we were like in Star Trek. By the time we were in the 80s, I really believed that the world was Star Trek. Or going to be Star Trek, like tomorrow, today. And because of that, our educational system is so strong. And everybody's got schools and, we're all learning the same stuff. And check it out, man. We're all learning about this history stuff and how it's repeating and people keep making the same mistakes. And now, because we have such a great educational system spread across all, our entire country from shore to shore, we won't make those same mistakes. We will not allow those things to happen again. Boy, was I stupid. And I'm so sad about that. Because it's like we haven't learned the same things, or the kids today or people today, they didn't learn the same things that we did. And then even people of my own age, we didn't obviously learn the same things. And we still have just different viewpoints of things. But I would like to say that, in discussing politics and governments and things, I'm always bringing up history because it's as good as your science. I mean, their only argument with that is, well, the winner's always right history. They always have an excuse. There's always an excuse. And that's what I meant by some people are just seemingly in the human condition insufferable and ignorant, and they choose to be. And you can point out all of these logical things and try to be like Mr. Spock, right? When it comes to certain things, you need to be like Mr. Spock, and there's no room for emotions and or your personal truth. There has to be a moment where we say, no, this is all based on the best facts that we have and the best knowledge that we have. And looking at this and looking at then and looking at today, you can see that these things are happening, and you should probably consider maybe voting this way, because we're letting these certain people get control and power again. This part of the human condition is getting power again. And that's proven to be dangerous over and over and over and over and over and over again. And until we see things for a long period of time where certain people with the certain human conditions are in power and they don't manage to get us all killed or screw everything up, we should probably just not let those people be in power. And it's not like there's an infinite number of personality types. There we go back to science and psychology and everything else. Let's bring it back down to something we can understand. And there isn't a million types of personalities. You need to learn what archetypes are, right? And once you can identify that there's archetypes that are constant through history in the human condition. So what does that all mean? If you've never heard these words before and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? What's an archetype? An archetype is simply, okay, here's the way they explained it to me in college to start us out. When I say the word chair, you envision a chair. We're not all necessarily envisioning the same chair. But in our collective conscious, in our minds, when somebody says the word chair, there was the first chair somewhere that created the first chair. That would be the archetype, right? So we may not be thinking about the the same chair, but we're thinking about a chair, and the chair is an archetype, right? So in the human condition, there are archetypes. And there's only, let's say for men, based on certain psychologies, there's only about 10 archetypes, 10 personality traits in males that don't seem to change, have not seemed to change in the entire history of humankind. All men, so maybe that's a DNA thing. All men can be said to derive from 10 archetypes. With females, they've got it even easier. Basically 7 archetypes in the female human condition and 10 in the male human condition. Okay. So yeah. But here's where it does start getting a little, you start getting a lot of combinations, but not infinite. Because humans, usually there's a dominant and then other influences. So you might have, okay, let me back up a minute. When I said there's 10 archetypes and 7 female archetypes, well, what am I saying? What are the 10? To make it easy, let's just take the Greek pantheon of gods. Okay? You can take any pantheon of gods, really. But most people are kind of, familiar with the Greek mythology from school. Okay, so we know about Zeus and Apollo and Hephaestus, and we know about Hera and Artemis and Demeter and Athena. Okay? So each one of those has a very distinct personality type. Okay? They are archetypes. The Zeus archetype, the Apollo archetype, right? People that are artists, the Hephaestus archetype. But you might also have influences of other archetypes. You can look at a guy and say, he's a Hephaestus. You never see him without his guitar or a paintbrush. That guy is a creator. He lives and breathes to create things. All right, so the Hephaestus archetype is dominant within him. But at the same time, he's very brave and he is always running around, trying to be the hero. He might be like the Apollo type. So you might have predominantly a Hephaestus archetype that's running things, but then these other archetypes, right? So here's another guy. He's really lazy and he's a drug addict. Right? Well, you can look at some other archetypes like Dionysus, the Dionysus archetype. He loves to party, he loves to drink, and he doesn't care where he wakes up in the morning. Okay, with women, the very, very strong, controlling, motherly type, the Hera. Or you might get the tough gal, the tomboys, or women who are into sports, athletics, even military. The Athena type. Okay. I hope that all makes sense. So now you understand what I'm talking about when I say the human condition for men and women can be broken down into archetypes, and then you have different categories. So you do get combinations. But again, not an unlimited amount of combinations, to see that certain types of people with certain dominant archetypes, when they get into power, bad things happen. So for them to describe politicians as I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican, yeah, we are talking about forms of government, but sometimes I would almost like it to be based on personalities. Well, We are the political party of these dominant archetypes. Well, you guys suck, and you should probably just go back to doing art. Because throughout history, when you get power and in control, you manage to totally screw everything up and get millions of people killed. And we know that you mean well. And you think you're smarter than the rest of us. And you're better at certain things than the rest of us. That doesn't mean you're better at governing. And to me, that's where we're at. That's where we've been at. Because in the history of things, we've seen how certain people in control of government start inflating things and causing banking problems and causing civil strife, and they cause this and they cause that, and all of a sudden hyperinflation in economies and wars and this and that, and we know what's caused it. We know the types of people in charge that their ideas have caused all that before, all the way back to ancient Sumer. No kidding. So I love YouTube, and I love history, and these programs might be on some other network as well, like just History Channel or whatever. But recently, I've been interested in ancient, the first civilizations, and looking at their rise and fall. And in documentaries, particularly that focus on the fall of the empires from Sumer forward. All right, so, and then looking at things like today and going, oh my God, it's the exact same situation. Or looking at Rome is usually the biggest one that people focus on, because a lot of us have history classes and we learn about Rome. But it doesn't matter if it's Rome or if it's Greece or the history of what's going on here in Mexico and South America and every place on Earth. China. They've all been through it over and over again too. Start out with a really good idea, and then some people come along and they make it a not so good idea anymore. They manage to ruin everything. And then you run into another golden age group of people who want to make everything awesome, and they make everything awesome, and then the next people come in and screw everything up again. And it's usually never been the politics. It's the people that are in control that just manage to make everything bad. So I wish for political candidates, as silly as it sounds, is like, yeah, I want to know what your sign is. It's cool. I already know how you feel about foreign affairs. I know how you feel about the border, or I know how you feel about the economy, and right. But I want to know something. What's your sign? What sign are you born under? What is your primary archetype? Throughout your life, what is your primary archetype? What are the sub-archetypes that run in you? And I'd like that displayed next to every politician's name, next to the little D and the little R. He's a Democrat, but he's also, Johnny, he's also Hephaestus, and he's got a lot of Hades running through his shadow, That's the candidate. Over here, we have her, and she's running as a Republican, and she's the Hera type. On weekends, she does show a real strong Demeter. Things of, I'd like to know that. Like, what about popularity? Popularity is just a popularity thing. Like, yeah, in school, were you popular, or were you known as the jerk? Were you a jerk? How many friends did you have? How many friends signed your yearbook? I wish they would have never stopped doing the, and maybe they still do it, but they kind of started phasing it out around my time, I thought, was the where they would put little captions under the photograph, you know, voted most likely to become a serial killer. Voted most likely to become, you know, a business tycoon. Voted most likely to end up on Skid Row. We need more of that, you know, tracking people as they grow up, as they go into politics. He was voted most likely to sell his mother for $1. It isn't until the real pain starts happening, or all these kids today starting to come around. And for them, real pain is, well, they're now not able to start being able to afford their bills. They can't afford their streaming services and their Xbox subscriptions. And now kids today are starting to lose their mind because now they themselves, as they go into the workplace, they can't afford anything, and they're losing their mind. Just in a short couple of years, this is a lot of these people. This is their first voting time, first voting period in their life, and all those hateful things that they've been saying about other archetypal peoples who need to be in charge of things. You know, they're all starting to freak out, and we're just saying, well, see, the biggest case of "I told you so" ever. I think every politician should have to turn in an essay before, especially people going into Congress. I want to read every one of them and make every one of them do an essay on the rise and fall of an empire before they're allowed in Congress. And that those should be all made public, and we should be able to read every person who is in Congress their essay on the rise and fall of one empire. And then some way for us, a chart, a database, an application on our phone, some way for us to track what they said in their essay about, oh, the fall of the empire, they did this and they did that and they did this. And then we can go back and say, well, you're doing this and that and this. You were doing exactly what they did back then, and you're getting ready to kill us. Don't you see that? And they don't. We can get on social media all day, political social media all day, with people in Congress and tell them, and they're professing that, again, we're the smart ones. We're not elected up here. We're the smart ones, obviously. And you try pointing out that they're doing the exact same things that took place in ancient Sumer, which brought about their downfall. And then just pick an empire. It doesn't matter. Pick an empire. You're doing the same things. And you let the people before you do the same things. Then our parents, I don't know about you. I want to say that mine were highly educated. They were above average. They had above average educations. But even them, their generation still elected people like that, and their folks before that actually did. I mean, so it's a real damn shame, in my opinion. I love being here. I've always wanted to see the future. When I was a kid, I was always in the future. My brain is in the future. Like I said, You know, by the time I was in junior high, I thought the world was Star Trek. I thought we were that close to Star Trek that it's right around the corner. That we're smart enough today that it'll be Star Trek. We will have learned enough from all of our mistakes for all of us to collectively go, oh. Let's not do that again. One good thing's come out of it, and freaking me out about all the, the way the world is going in politics, is I'm doing this now. Flying. I don't know if I will ever need it. I hope it never truly, in any amount of time before my demise, hopefully naturally, that I would have to bug out. And just try to fly someplace under the radar and just get away. There does seem plenty of places to still get away to. But everybody's like, do you got a bug out plan? I'm learning to fly. As one actress said, she got her, Aubrey Plaza, I think that's her name. She's an actress. But I caught a clip of her on some late night show where they were interviewing her, and she said, or basically, I guess he asked her about, hey, how do you feel about the world today or something? And her reply was that, because I bought my boyfriend or husband helicopter training. You bought your boyfriend or husband helicopter training? Yeah. Why? Because if the world goes to crap, somebody's got to learn how to fly. He's like, well, what are you going to? How come you're not learning to fly? He's like, well, I'm handling the weapons and ammunition. That's her job. Weapons and ammunition. But one of them has to know how to fly. It was my dad that inspired me truly to fly. He knew how to fly, but my dad never got instrument rated. My dad only got visual flight rated. But this is now, if we go back to the 1970s, and if you never lived through it, if you're young, you're a young person. One, I envy you. But two, you really didn't live at any part during the 70s. You're just not going to really have any point of reference to understand how the world was just a short time ago. And how the world allowed men, the Zeus Apollo type of archetypal men, the real men, to just do something. What are you going to do today, Dad? I'm going to go learn to fly, son. Really? Yeah. Just went up and did it. Wow. And the regulations and everything, and just or believe, in some cases, in my dad's case, he was an alpha male kind of guy. He was an awesome dude. And but believing more in your abilities than you have, or so he's an awesome dude, and he learns how to get, and he gets his visual flight rules license. And then he starts using it to commute back and forth between Colorado and Wyoming for these work jobs. Right? But he starts lapsing on his training, and he doesn't follow through and get instrument flight rating, an instrument flight rules license. And then he got caught in a bad situation where the weather changed on him and he found himself in zero visibility conditions. One, he shouldn't even be flying. So they hated on him for that, and they were going to make life hell for my dad for that. But he had to call in for help. He had to have air traffic control direct him down to the ground. And it was his first time because they didn't have simulators back then that could have allowed my dad to experience what that's like before it happens to you in real life. If you're an actual flight simulator who takes it seriously, you have probably gone through some sort of training where it's zero visibility, doing your instrument flight rating. And you might actually remember how your heart was pounding out of your chest and how frightening it is. Or even if you're new to the simulator and you've flown in crappy conditions and you can't see anything, how scary that can be. Because maybe you don't even know how to read visual flight rules maps that good to know where you're at and navigate around in case you get caught in a situation like that. Knowing how to save your life. And it unnerved this man of steel from the 70s, from the 50s up to the 70s, that he quit flying. Whether or not, I never followed up with him before he passed away to follow up with him on all of that transpired afterwards. I was in college for some things, or in school, or with my friends, and not paying attention. I just knew that he wasn't flying anymore. Sold his plane, and then that guy that he sold his plane to crashed it into Pikes Peak, killed himself and some other ladies, and he was the snorting cocaine, drinking whiskey kind of guy, and that's how dangerous certain men of the 70s are. He was the Dionysus type, the Dionysus archetype. That's who my dad sold his plane to. And, a guy in the 70s that had the open shirt, gold chains, and always had a lady on his arm with a huge rack. The Playboy model. Those kind of guys. Yeah, he sold his plane to one of those type. Yeah, that guy killed himself and some lovely ladies. And I think, so when I started to learn how to fly, and really wanted to get serious, one, it was to go further than my father. And I had, at one point, really hoped that I could show him cool stuff like this. I was hoping, we always expect people are going to be around a lot longer than they are. And then I thought at some point I would have time to sit down with my dad and show him some cool stuff like this. And at least in the simulator, get him instrument rated. So he can fly those kind of conditions and never, ever, ever worry about anything again. Mostly. But I've since learned in the rules and the regulations and things that if you're only visual flight rules rated, all the steps that you are supposed to take would have ensured that he would have never run into that situation. And so they got you right there. They know. Anybody knows. Well, if you planned your flight properly, and if you were checking the weather and watching the weather over the whole week before your flight, and doing all the things that are required of you to plan a flight, you wouldn't have got caught in that situation. And so then I hear there's lots of fees and fines and foes and fums, and that's what I never got to ask him about. Well, I know this bad thing happened to you and stopped you from flying, but Did they also hit you with, is that another reason why? Is just all of a sudden the government came down on you and started hitting you with all this stuff, and you were trying to raise a family, and who can afford all that? Or they take your license. Did they take, I don't know. I never asked if they just took his license because he failed so badly. I even know enough from visual flight rules to know that in the flight planning sequence, you have to plan way ahead. There's so much you have to do to ensure that that doesn't happen. One, two, is just even the first moment you see a cloud in the sky where you're headed or see bad conditions, you're not even allowed to go near it. With only a visual flight rules license, you're not even supposed to fly anywhere near a cloud. Don't even think about it. 500 to 1,000 feet, always get away. Don't go near a cloud. Don't go above it, below it, whatever. Whatever. Do whatever you need to do to never be near a cloud. And if there are clouds in the skies, you pretty much just shouldn't fly. They don't want you to fly because, So again, I remember that transition period where I'm just starting to learn instrument flying, and I'm pushing myself more and more and more, flying in crappy low visibility conditions and testing my ability. How much of it do I really need? And sure enough, man, horrible when you can't see the runway and you start becoming overconfident in your abilities, and you think, gosh, it doesn't matter if it's low visibility. I'm not going to have any problem. I know enough about VOR to VOR navigation, and I know enough about this, and I know enough about that. No. I was still getting into horrible, horrible situations, crashing all the time, and you really need to understand all your instruments to blind fly. And if you don't, you're going to freak out, and you're going to end up making some sort of mistake. In the simulator, it's so easy to prove or disprove what I just said by going up here and changing things and setting your weather conditions and not flying live and setting it to horrible and just try to predominantly fly horrible conditions and bring the clouds all the way down so you can't see anything, and there's snow. Yeah. So right now, yeah, I don't know Jack. I don't know Jack about where I'm going. I don't know. I don't have any. This thing, one of the Garmin's, I think I wish it would do is I wish it would give you elevations. Color coding is fine. And it's got to be more comfortable with the color coding, but it's not precise. I would rather not see any airport that I need except for the one I'm going to. Other than that, the only information that I would like to see displayed are the damn elevations. I don't understand why at this point in time on your PFD you can't just get a screen with just elevations. It is ridiculous unto me. You're awful close. Let's dial this in. Monterey. They have another they have two Montereys. That's got to be confusing. And the wind is blowing from behind us. We are headed east. So to a runway 21.
Mike, November Bravo. Traffic Kineas 2127 miles west, 3,600 feet inbound to land runway
27 miles. And they have no ATC to respond back. And we don't have, we can use the in-flight map, but that's another thing I'm really upset with Microsoft Flight Simulator. And we're getting ready to go into 2024. And they're like, we're so proud this is the world's first visual flight rules simulator. It is a historic achievement, and that's me saying that. It is a historic achievement. But then we're only going to give you a map like this as for the world's first, greatest, amazing aircraft simulation. And we're going to give you a VFR map that takes forever to load. And this is it. This is what you get. You don't get elevations. You don't get anything that you really need as a visual flight rules person to help me get to where I'm going at MMQP there, or click on it, or learn anything about it. And the Sky Vector, which is predominantly North America, has no information on these airports. I would need some sort of Mexican, an app for Mexico airports to get all their stuff. So I don't know right at the moment, you know, what's below us. I don't know where the runway is. I've got this cool information up here, which is telling me that the pattern entry is 1,071 feet. So all we can do is start coming down. But I don't know if there's any little peaks or mountains in between here and there. So yeah, if you're just getting into simulation and you don't know how to use all your instruments, yeah, go to a condition like this and see how comfortable you feel flying around. And then make sure that there's some mountains out there too. Make sure that it's not, you know that it's not flat terrain. And feel your heart pound out of your chest. And then try flying it at night. Just try to fly, just try to fly across town at night with low to zero visibility conditions and find another airport and land. Good luck. We don't have any VOR information. Because the Garmin, actually, this one's pretty advanced, and it may have the approach. Yeah, cool. We wanted 21. Okay, so now, because this is nice and advanced, I have the whole where is it going? Going straight? Oh, it's going to STRG? Well, it doesn't seem like it is. See if we can make it go there. Okay, there. All right. So now, with that, at least with this high tech, back in the day they didn't have that. We would have to start getting some frequencies, try to do a VOR, and use our old steam dial knowledge to get a VFR, a VOR lock, or a VOR entry. Plug that in again. Okay. So now the plane is going to come over here to straight, and then we can turn on final. And using the color coordinates, 1,000 feet is green. You don't even really kind of understand. Negative 100, negative 2,000. You need some training on that. Saying everything below the green is 1,000 or below, and then black is less than 2,000. Everything in red is above 100. I don't know. Put on some music and relax a little bit. I haven't been playing it for a while. I've been ranting about politics in the world. Try to get my mind off of that stuff. Sorry about that. Go back to talking about The Sims instead of politics, man. I feel ya. Yeah. 1,900 feet of visibility. And then you start.
Oye, miren quién volvió por aquí. Me gustaría decir que sigo sintiendo lo mismo por ti, pero.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell if we're moving or not. This is just holding. Oh, no fluctuation. Being assisted by a landing pattern.
I'm so sorry for you, but you are not gonna play with my heart. Todo esto es pasado, no vengas a pedir perdón, esto ya ha terminado, se acabó. Todo esto es pasado, no vengas a pedir perdón, esto ya ha terminado.
So we do know that when they put us into a landing pattern, it's usually about 1,000 feet down to the runway at that point, usually, you know. So if we can't see as we get to, when we make that turn, and I start putting in some flaps for final, and we start coming down, hopefully we'll be able to see something. But if we can't see something, you know, shooting blind because we have no information on runway elevation. I don't even know if my altimeter, if we can get an altimeter from anybody. I'm hoping I click on one of these and it pops up a in their automated weather. Nope. All right. I have to switch it off. This thing has no de-icing, and the windshield's gathering ice. The plane could be gathering ice too. Man, can't see a thing. We don't want any ice on the wings. That's another dangerous thing. I love practicing it in Colorado when we get freezing conditions and taking up, well, this one might have some de-icing, actually. Thinking about Cessna 172. The wind is really pushing us. I think our speed indicator and pitot, our pitot is I don't see pitot heat. We're not getting a airspeed indicator. It's frozen. And we're losing. We're spinning out of control. We've frozen over. We're going to crash. I don't think there's a way for me to... Let me see here. Save us at this point. I think we're going to crash. unless I don't think we can recover in time. I'm trying to do a full flaps. I didn't think I would have enough altitude. Full flaps, pull straight up, managed to get us not killed. Oh, crap. All right, so we're coming in for it still. Where is it? No. I don't know if it's that. Let's see here. It's that one or the one in front of us. I think it's the one in front of us. Monterey, yeah.
Proceed to parking.
Taxi to parking and shut down your engine.
From dispatch. Okay, nice job. Someone is coming to take the cargo. I'll call you when it's done.
Oh, I'm praying that we weren't on. Oh, I'm praying we weren't locked on a Bushtalk radio screen this whole time. I'm gonna kill myself if we did. Oh no.
Transporter from dispatch. Everything seems okay. The customer looks happy. Mission ended.
As I was switching
Ready for engine start.
As I was switching over, I realized I may have been stuck on one screen. And hopefully I wasn't. I'll have to review the footage. If so, I'm going to have to end up chopping out a big portion maybe. But you didn't get to see the landing or you didn't get to see any of it. I don't know, however long. And if so, I deeply apologize, but I won't know until I review the footage. Oh boy, I sure hope not though. Okay, we need to get to Cancun. How much time do we have? We don't. It's already 4:20 in the afternoon. That's a long way from here. Well, it's not that long. Cancun is... I thought it was over here, but that's Cozumel. Yeah. June. All right, let's see if there are any jobs that way. MMIM. See how far that is. MMIM. $400 miles. We're not gonna make it today. Not a chance. All right. Well, it is what it is. We'll have to make it to Cancun tomorrow. We'll just end it here. Still thinking about picking up that camping pack, so I can lay down some tents for us and a fireplace and let our dogs loose. I guess you can get dogs with it. I'd really like a cat, but you know how cats are. Freak out and run off into the woods and you never see them again. I'm just praying that we weren't on the dead screen. Oh. Well, provided we're all alive tomorrow, I will see you tomorrow and we'll continue on our way and make it to Cancun. Then we'll start heading into a new... I mean, we've never been over here before. This is all the first for me. Then we'll keep heading south. Guess we're just gonna keep going south. And then we gotta make some time to do some gliding with Hans and Henning in Germany. And we need more helicopter practice. And we're gonna definitely need to see if we can find some charts for the territory and airports down here. That's no fun, flying without all the proper information. All right. Well, dinner's on me. See you tomorrow.